And hello there, welcome to the Red October Network. Stefan Cassidy here, making another vlog for you guys. And thank you for being loyal all these months and for watching the Red October Network. I'll get ready to go here. This is Jersey Confessions. So, hello everyone, and anyways, I've just been kind of looking out and trying to wander through this job market right now. It's kind of tough because, you know, bachelor's degrees don't really hold much clout anymore, and you have to have a master's, especially while I'm working in environmental science, and plus, for even the menial jobs, you have to have a lot of skill, and it's tough out there. I mean, I work retail. Now, a lot of young people are very apprehensive about this economic climate. People think, oh, you know, this is horrible, it's terrible, what are we going to do? And a lot of them tend to think that business is the problem. Well, I don't really own a business, but I can say too that I'm going to defend a lot of the things that Republicans and small business owners and everybody think of. So everybody says about like these resume things, and they say, well, what should we do to get a job? Well, the first thing is with it is that you do not have to get a job. You can own your own business if you have the skills and knowledge. Start your own business. You don't have to worry about resumes or interviews other than the bank loan. But you know, if you have a good business plan, there are people out there who will back you up. And that's something where I think a lot of people don't even realize it. But I am going to defend business owners. Here's why. When you're going for an interview, you think about it. Here, take it from the point of a hiring manager or an interviewer. Here I am, I'm talking to a total stranger who, you know, who we're going to pay money, good money that we earn, and probably at a loss for a few months to train you. A perfect stranger, we know nothing about you. So people were saying, well, why are interviews so screwy? Well, first of all, there's a lot of things that we can say about your interview. First of all, if you seem nervous talking to me, a little bit of nervousness is fine. I mean, I understand that. You can be a little nervous, but to some extent, though, if you're nervous, I mean, it's, what do we think? Well, you know, maybe you're not confident in yourself. Maybe you don't believe that, there is any ability to handle complex situations, because I can guarantee you right now in this job climate, with Obamacare and the economy, and the fact that for the most part when we hire you as a trainee, we have to take 2 people out of commission and pay them. They cancel each other out because even though there's an experienced person, there's there's a lot of things that they can't do whenever they have you tagging along. So I have to be able to afford that. I have to be able to afford benefits. I have to be available to afford the taxes. I have to be able to afford an accountant. I have to. I mean, people don't know how to run a small business. A lot of people don't. So, and everybody questions, well, why do we look on Facebook and Twitter? And well, I got to tell you something. First off, I don't advocate employers looking at Twitter or Facebook or whatnot, but we should be able to Google you. Why? Well, I can tell you this right now. For any of you who have used Twitter, all you have to do is put a hashtag in as an employee, put your business's name in a hashtag, and your business will be ruined, especially for a small business. Like if I go and I say, oh, blah blah, you know, blah blah industrial organizers, industrial metals, they're such a-holes. For somebody who's doing business with me, or say if it's an office supply store, blank blank's office store is such a sham. That's all you really need for a small business to go down, because that will go, and it will, you know, the news media will read up on it, and yeah, I mean, you could be ruined from that. So if it's public information, yeah, there's some truth to it. You have to know, because like I said before, it's a perfect stranger you're talking to, and you know, that's something that we have to look at, and you know, that's a big problem. Another thing is what it is, misspellings on your resume. It's more a testament of due diligence. You know, there's, especially with college graduates, if you can't spell after 16, sometimes 17 years of schooling, how do I know you're not going to miss a zero or under measure the weight of a ceiling if you're an engineer, or water pressure is off by a power of 10? I mean, this could kill people. I know in my industry, messing up, if you're a meteorologist, messing up a forecast or messing up a warning issuance could kill somebody. So there's that. I know also too that in this day and age, if I'm a hiring manager, I want to go and I want to see somebody who really wants to pursue the job, not somebody who's just sending out blank resumes. And to be honest with you, job hunting is a full-time, full-effort position. If you do not have a full-time job, your full-time job is looking for a full-time job. And, you know, it may not be easy, but you have to pursue. That being said, I would say this, though. As a job hunter, I think that, the one thing that a hiring manager would like to see is that you actually are working. It doesn't matter if you're shoveling shit or something like that for $7.25 an hour. I mean, it has no glory to it, but you know, that's something you want to do. You don't want to do it for 2 years like I have, but you definitely want to go and try to do something. It is a resume killer to be working full time. I'm not going to lie to you. And you have to work full time somewhere. You have to pay some bills. You have to take in that $1,000 a month or so. You have to. There's no question about it. You have to bring in something, because being unemployed, as soon as you're unemployed for 6 months, you have to wait for the economy to pick up, because your skills are useless. Your skills are out of date, and like I said before, it's hard to do that. Hard to start up again after you've done that. I know with me too, people don't know about the expenses of small business. They picture Papa John Schmatter, or however you say his name, with his big mansion and everything. A lot of small business owners, I mean, Papa John was the very small minority. A lot of small business managers have $150,000, $200,000 in debt. They have mortgages on their house. They have no retirement. They can't make mistakes anymore. I mean, the tax laws are such they cannot make these mistakes anymore. That's why they have to go through all the screening. They have to be specific. And plus, you think about it this way: if I'm a small business person, if you hired me or something, and after a year I go and I take the training I paid for, or that the small business paid for rather, and I go to a big conglomerate, I've just lost my money. Because remember what I said before. And people don't realize there's a lot of expenses. There's a lot of laws. Which means if you're an accountant, you always have a job. But accountants, though, I hate to say it, sometimes a lot of the accountants have to cook books, but that's not the story we're talking about. But it is something you have to realize. I will also say this too, that if you send a handwritten thank you note the day of the interview on nice paper, you know, sheepskin paper, it earns brownie points. I did it once for a state job, and I got a handwritten note back saying thank you and keep your head up, and it was not a cookie cutter because I received a lot of cookie cutter ones. But see, you get into the head a little bit, and you see, if you're memorable like that, you'll be called. Okay, you will be called. It may not be for like a state or environmental job like I'm in, but that's how you network. And everybody says, oh, networking and LinkedIn and everything. Well, you have to realize that in networking, LinkedIn, usually the groups that are in there, so many people are looking for jobs that they want to be specific, and it's not just as easy as, you know, just going on LinkedIn. You have to, in order to get a job, especially with government, you have to be a known quantity. Your work ethic has to be obvious. Your ability to work has to be obvious. It may not be me, the interviewer, or the interviewer who's going to take you and know you, but somebody has to take that chance. And it's hard. But the thing is, you need to go and you need to take a small hole and wedge it open into a crevice, or a crevasse. You just think about it this way. Would you, if you had, this is the way I look at it, if I were to hire somebody. If I had $100,000 car, and I gave you the keys and I said, here, I expect you to have it back by 5 p.m. You can do whatever you want with it, or just to make a delivery. Let's just say that. To make a delivery of a $50,000 diamond ring in my $100,000 Mercedes-Benz. And I took somebody off the street and said to them, I want you to have this back to me by 5 o'clock. Would you do that? Now, a lot of people would say, no, I wouldn't. But that's the risk you have to take. You think about it this way. I may be protecting $100,000 worth of trade secrets, or $100,000 worth of, you know, equipment, or tractor, or power tools. I may have $1 million worth of stuff, and I'm trusting a total stranger to do that. That's why we're so strict with interviews. That's why small business owners and business owners are so picky about going on Facebook and YouTube. Everything, which, by the way, you'll know that's not my real name. but that's why they have to be specific. We have to know. It is an investigation. I don't advocate credit checks. Credit checks are often a good idea of how responsible people are with money. Especially, you know, for a long time unemployed, it's a problem. But if you have a job and your credit rating is like 550 or something, unless you have student loans, you really need to kind of buckle down and really think about what it is that you've done wrong. Because I can tell you this right now, student loans are going to be the next catalyst for change. I've always said it before. You should not occupy Wall Street. You should occupy State U. But you know what? We'll talk about that next time. We'll save that for another time here on Jersey Confessions. That'll be our next episode, episode 3 of season 1. Give you a little preview. And so, that's pretty much what I think we can go for. And so, I'll just say this right now. If you're job searching, you have to be diligent. You have to know that unless you're going to start a small business, which I advocate you doing if you have the ability, don't be a wage earner. Or a wage taker. Be a wage earner. Be somebody who takes something from nothing and turns it into everything. If you want to go and you want to be subordinate and make $40,000 a year for the rest of your life, well, you can be under somebody else's tab. If you want to make a lot of money, start your own business. Even in this tough economy with Obamacare and everything, really, in truth, you really have the ability, even with all the laws, to do great things. And so that's all for today. Stay tuned. to the Red October Network for our next episode. We'll talk a little bit about the college climate and everything. Maybe a little bit about climate change in my belly. So anyways, thank you for watching. And we'll have a good time, as we always do on the Red October Network. We'll see you later.